Hey guys, this is Nilal from the BCIS, and this is yet another webcast episode that we're bringing you. We apologize about the fact that we've not brought you any interviews for a while, but hopefully this will sate your hunger for a good interview. I have a very special guest today, Mr. Praveen Abhayaratne. If we were going to explore this, which do you think we should start off with first?
Well, if I can just say a little bit more about competition for natural resources and environment as a catalyst, because we're not going to be focusing, as I understand today, but just because it's my area of research and what I'm very interested in. So, as I mentioned, environmental issues as a catalyst. When you have issues like drought, you have people are denied of a basic right. They're denied of a basic necessity for life, which is water. And agriculture needs water. 70% of the world's water is used for agriculture. So when you have drought that affects large areas, people have to move or go to places where water is required. So that affects food security. And we've seen this over and over again right around the world, where when food security or water security is affected, you have people moving from large areas. So in a country like Sri Lanka, especially, where it's population dense, South Asian countries especially, movement of people from one area to another area will cause huge problems. Not just in terms of it won't be a national security issue, but it will be an overall state security issue, because you will not be able to, if you're not able to face that situation. So water is one of the main things because it's so important. Climate change is the other one, and the various impacts of climate change.
Could you give us a few ways in which climate change is affecting warfare?
Well, actually, to be very honest, I haven't looked into it very much, but I can share this, that it is serious enough for the United States and NATO countries to include as a specific section in the national security strategies. They're creating separate divisions, separate people with expertise, just to look at how climate change is going to affect security. Because again, it's to do with the mass movement of people and not having access to essential resources. Then on the other side, you have studies that are being done to explore the relation of climate change in relation to the conflict in the Middle East, so as well as Sudan. But again, these are also related to conflict with regard to natural resource extraction. Oil has been traditionally a large issue, or a very key issue that people are following. So a lot of the conflicts in Central Africa have been based on natural resource extraction, which also leads to indirect complications. So if I can, I'll use that to jump into what we're looking at today, which is the environmental impact of armed conflict and warfare. So remember the Rwandan genocide. Right after that, you had something like 2 million refugees there was a mass exodus from Rwanda, and they went towards the DRC, and they were something like 720,000 people were placed near the Virunga National Park on its borders. So obviously they're destitute, they don't have any resources, no one to help them. So for livelihoods, they were extracting something like 1,000 tons of hardwood from the Virunga National Forest on a daily basis to make charcoal as a livelihood, and also to build houses, and also for fuel. Like 720,000 people were placed near the Virunga National Park on its borders. So then the indirect effect is where you have increased spread of small arms, for example. So poaching becomes rampant. They have access, because they are on the borders of Islam, they have access to parks, and it becomes a source of food as well. But yes, it's right around the world, as a result of increased conflict and the proliferation of small arms, you have local people as well as militant groups who find hunting, poaching, for example, being very lucrative. The other aspect that's direct effect on animals, but other is extraction of timber. So you had multinationals and foreign companies that were colluding with militant groups in Central African countries. This is happening today for the extraction of timber.
It's interesting that you say all this, because despite this, and in fact the data that you shared and that's come out in your research as well is very interesting. Now, it's quite clear that at least half, if not more, of the major conflicts in the world are driven by natural resources, as you say, and even historically it's always been because of natural resources, and yet it only seems to be in recent years that security scholars and academics have sort of openly acknowledged the role of environmental studies when it comes to understanding conflict. Why is that? Why is it that it's only in recent times that scholars and academics have started putting the two together?
Well, I would say it's something that affects society as a whole today. Our respect for our environment, understanding how much a part we are of it and how much we're dependent on it. You could nail it down to economics, the modern economic system, where it's based on consumption. So we're not looking at we don't give value to the environment. So when it comes to, so for example, negative externalities in production of goods and services, we don't look at it. It's just looked at as a negative externality, but we don't. For example, when you're extracting water to make bottled water, we don't look at it as something we should tax people who are taking water, because but it should be. It's a public good. Water is a public good. So when someone takes out in large quantities from one area, they're denying people in another area. So it's overall valuation of environment, I would say, is a problem in terms of economics.
So let me just thank Praveen for joining us today. I hope this was it was an interesting conversation for us. I hope it was an interesting experience for you too.
It was.
So if you're interested in this, guys, please contact us so that we can put you in touch with Praveen. As always, if you like our videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to your channel. This is Nilan from the BCIS, and see you soon, guys.